Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, a bill seeking to tax digital transactions hurdles the House of Representatives, as well as imposing more taxes to single-use plastics. House Deputy Majority Leader and Ako Probinsyano Party List Representative Alfred Delos Santos joins us live. The House of Representatives approves on third and final reading a measure seeking to impose a 12% value-added tax on foreign digital service providers. Which online platforms will be affected, and how will this impact consumers and digital service providers? Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have House Deputy Majority Leader and Ako Probinsyano Party List Representative Alfred Delos Santos. Congressman, welcome to the source. It's good to have you, sir.
Good morning, Ma'am Pinky, at magandang umaga po sa mga viewers ng The Source.
Okay, so 12% value-added tax. Yung importante po dito yung tinatawag na foreign digital service providers. Ano ho ba itong mga foreign digital service providers or DSPs?
These are the service providers that conduct subscribers, yung mga online sellers po natin, and as well as yung mga service providers that does auctions. So lahat po ng digital providers po outside the country will be the additional value-added tax po.
Opo.
Na ini-implement natin dito sa bill na to.
For example, sir, are we talking about Netflix?
We're talking, yes. Isa yan, yung mga Alibaba, Netflix, even Lazada and Shopee, makakasama po dito.
Kasama na po yan. Okay, so balikan po natin siguro yung wisdom behind this. Ano ho ba ang dahilan bakit kailangan mag-impose ng VAT dito po sa mga digital transactions?
Well, first of all, our country will benefit it very much kasi we're looking at a 19 billion profit from it.
Sorry, sir, 19?
Po, our local...
Sorry, sir, did you say 19?
Ito yung projected, 19 billion profit. Yan po yung projected natin na magigain natin from this value-added tax. And at the same time po, it will be fair for our local digital providers dahil po ngayon, ongoing po, ang ating local digital providers katulad ng mga Viva Max and other local digital providers already have value-added tax. So ang tinitingnan lang po natin dito ay yung mga digital providers outside our country.
Opo, foreign. Basta local, meron na po kasing ipinapataw na VAT. Yun po ang sinasabi niyo, Congressman.
Yes.
Tapos yung mga foreign ay hindi po pinapatawan ng VAT. So I guess I did read that it seems a little unfair to do that.
Yes, you're very right, Ma'am Pinky. Kasi po, alam naman po natin in the competitive market, our local digital providers should have a competitive advantage in our country. So para po magkaroon naman ng fairness, dapat po yung mga foreign companies patawan din po natin ng tax.
Ang sinabi niyo pong ma-generate na tax dito, malaki po yun, 19 billion. Is that per year, sir?
Yes, it will be per year. And this is just a projection, no? Based on the incomes that they are producing, gross incomes that they are producing po.
Okay. Ito pong tanong na importante, sino po magbabayad ng VAT?
Well, it's under the discretion of the service provider, but we are always looking naman of the competitive side of the business. So I think there is a possibility that it might go to the consumer, but we will always look at the competitive side na talaga namang hindi sila pwede magtaas kagad ng presyo nila because baka mawalan sila ng mga customers. So it says.
So basically, you're saying that there is no control over this 12% VAT. Tama po. The digital provider can, paano ho ba yun? Pass it on to the customers, or the digital platforms can absorb this increase or this VAT rather, this 12% VAT. Nasa kanila na po yun.
Same with other VAT rulings po. It will be under the discretion of the service provider.
Papaano ho yung siguro sinasabi na bakit naman kailangan mag-impose ng VAT ngayon? Lahat na tumataas. Ito na lang po yung siguro. Well, yung iba, luxury, hindi ho ba? Ginagamit po natin yan. Yung iba luxury, yung iba po kailangan necessary kumbaga. Let's start with yung tinatawag natin na luxury, yung pampalipas oras, ganun ho ba? Kung meron kayong, wala kayong ginagawa, this is what you want to do. Bakit ho ngayon, in the face of the rising cost of basic goods, even fuel, why impose additional taxes?
Well, these taxes will go directly to the our agencies that support these problems that you are saying na we are experiencing right now. Specifically to DNR and to other COVID-related agencies. Ito pong mga makukuha natin from this added value-added tax, will go directly to these agencies para masuportahan yung mga programang gagawin ng ating gobyerno to support these problems.
And when you talk about COVID-related agencies, you're talking about what, sir? The DOH, what else?
We have the DNR, DOH, mostly sila po talaga. And also some will go to the DILG. Pero mostly po talaga, ito pong batas directly mapupunta sa DNR and DOH po.
Okay, ang tanong ho siguro, why DENR?
Well, ang yung DNR kasi is it's siya po yung connected dun sa ating environmental significance niya ngayon. So, dun po talaga nakikita natin na malaki yung pangangailangan po.
But will it be up to members of the House or proponents or authors of this bill to provide the information on where, kung sa, yung makakala po na buwis dito, karapatan niyo hubang sabihin kung saan dapat ito mapunta?
Yeah, actually it is our obligation na makita ng sambayan ng Pilipino kung saan mapupunta itong mga taxes na ito po. In fact, ma'am, yung ating DNR na beneficiary is about the single-use plastic. So, correlated po siya as we fight the battle for our environmental safety. Ito naman po yung pagkukuhaan nito, yung pag-impose natin ng excise tax sa single-use plastic.
I know, because I also want to talk about that a little later on, no, Congressman. Yung sa single-use, admittedly, pupunta ho talaga yun sa DNR. Of course, also to amend the existing law dahil magkakaroon po ng pagpataw sa paggamit ng single-use plastic. But I want to talk about that a little later on, no? So, okay. So, because you think that fees will be generated, you guys have thought of saying, okay, kung anong makuha dito, lagay natin sa DENR, lagay natin sa DOH, lagay din po natin sa, I think you also mentioned, the DILG. I want to go back to the other important matter here, sir, no? What about, let's say, Zoom? Yung pong mga platform na ginagamit natin dahil kailangan po yun sa trabaho, kailangan po yun siguro sa pag-aaral. Meron ho bang exemption dito sa digital transactions?
We place a certain exemption po regarding this bill. Lahat po ng services related to education or webinars exempted po from this tax. But regarding Zoom, it will be very technical because we use it in our work, we use it in our schooling. So I guess if we classify our registration or our subscription for education, there might be certain exemptions to the VAT. But on general po, basta po yung platform ay for education and webinars, it will be exempted with the VAT po.
Whether it is local or otherwise, it doesn't matter, sir.
Yes. Yes, Ma'am Pinky.
Opo, basta gagamitin sa pag-aaral, yun ang sinasabi ninyo.
Yes po.
Okay. It has passed on third and final reading at the House, no? Over 200 plus votes.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we're very happy that this early stage on the 19th Congress napasa po kaagad. And we are hopeful na our Senate counterparts will also appreciate the said bill and also communicate with us what more we can improve with the bill po.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on even possibly improving this bill, even if it's passed on third and final reading? Dahil I think there's a counterpart bill in the Senate, if I'm not mistaken. It's with Senator Pia Cayetano. I do remember reading something about that. But in hindsight, sir, meron po ho kayong bang dapat pag-isipan dito at siguro to improve it?
Well, lahat naman po, Ma'am Pinky, dapat bago maging formal na batas, continuous po yung pagre-review namin. And yung sa kay Ma'am, kay sa version po ng Senate, we will check right now kung ano po yung differences na nagawa. But as of now po, almost similar po yung versions namin and hopefully wala na tong adjustment po. Napakaganda lang, Ma'am Pia, yung natanong nyo regarding sa Zoom talaga. Kasi very technical and it is used in different platforms. So, yung papasok po yung exemption, how we will implement it, that is the things that we will study on the passing on the Senate version po.
I see. So there's still a possibility. Tama ba yung rinig ko, sir, that
Yes.
with Zoom, I think that's what you mentioned. I'm sorry, I didn't catch a part of what you said. Posibleng ma-exempt din to, subject to further discussions.
Yes, Ma'am Pinky. If there is certain differences from the Senate versions, definitely we will have a bicameral about this.
Congressman, how important is it that this bill be passed the soonest possible time? Kasi pag sinasabi niyong kailangan mag-generate ng revenue, ano po, syempre, pag titingnan po natin yung budget natin, 5.2 trillion pesos, over 1 trillion, I think, ay utangin po ng ating gobyerno. No? So it's important for government to look into generating revenue. But again, siguro, to end this conversation on this topic, is it really timely to impose taxes on digital platforms now?
Well, like what you said, Ma'am, the government really needs help in making revenue. So I think it's really very timely for this certain platforms to be taxed kasi sa totoo lang, Ma'am Pinky, marami po tayong government services na kailangan pa po ng sambayan ng Pilipino na mapadala sa kanila. And I think we need money from other companies para lang po ma-deliver natin yung certain services ng ating government.
And important, sir, plastic use. Taxing ang paggamit ng single-use plastic. Maraming maapektuhan dito, but we need to take a very short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, House Deputy Majority Leader and Ako Probinsyano Party List Representative Alfred Delos Santos. Congressman, let's talk about Single-Use Plastic Bags Act. Tell us more about this. It was also passed at the House of Representatives. Ang mangyayari ho dito, mag-i-impose ng, pagkaintindi ko po, no, tama ho ba 100 pesos sa bawat...
Per kilogram.
Tama. Okay, tell us more about this. Sa bawat kilogram ng single-use plastic. Okay. Tell us more about this, sir.
We're gonna impose excise tax po on the single-use plastic bags. May I describe lang kung what is the single-use plastic bags? These
Very
are
good.
the sando, yung mga sa mga sari-sari stores na yung mga ice plastics na mga ginagamit natin or what we call the labo or the sando bags. These are really the plastics that cannot be recycled. These are the plastics that we see in the trash. So what we noticed, we have created an increase of 2.7, we produce 2.7 to 5.5 million metric tons as of now, we are the third largest contributor in the entire world. So I think it's
To
about
plastic
time that we
pollution.
tax
Yeah.
these um, products so that we can create projects and programs for the DNR para malabanan po natin ang environmental waste na na-experience po natin because of these products.
Right. I think whatever revenue that will be collected from this should or could really, I understand where if it would go to the DENR. So pag-usapan po natin ulit yung single-use plastic. So yung sinasabi niyo, nakikita po natin yung, hindi ho ba yung mga tingi-tingi, yun?
Yes, Ma'am Pinky. Yes, that's it po.
Opo. Tapos yung, yan, yung mga nakikita po natin, I don't know if you have a monitor in front of you, sir, o yung mga sachet. Yung mga
Yes,
shampoo
ma'am.
sachet, ganun ho ba? Kasama ho yun?
Yes, ma'am. So that primarily is our talagang tinatawag na single-use plastic bags po.
Opo. Ibig
Ito po
sabihin
mga
kasi,
tinitingi po.
single use, gagamitin mo, tapos itatapon mo. Parang ganun po kasi ibig sabihin nun. Okay. You know, I read an article, sir. It says that doing this will indirectly tax the poor. This was a statement made by Mr. Lau ng Philippine Plastics Industry Association. Bakit? Dahil alam naman po natin na marami po sa kababayan natin, tingi-tingi po ang pagbili ng, sabihin natin, kahit yung mga ginagamit po sa shampoo, hindi ho ba? Kahit yung kinakain, yung binibili pong pagkain, hindi ho ba nasa plastic din? Do you agree that this is indirectly taxing the poor?
Well, I believe, Ma'am Pinky, we have other alternatives to use. We have eco bags, we have paper bags, and I think this is the most harmful part of or style of buying products. Itong single-use plastic bags. There are other options po to use. So I think what they are saying is, ang target po kasi dito, Ma'am Pinky, is to eliminate. We have certain municipalities that issued no plastic rule, but this is not a law. So I think ito po talaga yung pinaka-best solution para ma-eliminate po natin itong single plastic bag. Yun po talaga yung ating
Opo, ang maganda ho talaga tayo magawa natin sa pang-araw-araw, hindi ho ba yung magdala ng eco bag. Pumunta ka man sa mall, pumunta ka man sa supermarket, gusto mo mag-shopping o gusto mo mag-grocery, hindi ho ba? Kahit ako minsan nakakalimutan ko po, sir. But I wanna zero in, sir, on dun sa, yung nakikita po natin, ano ho ang kanilang alternative? Sabihin po natin yun na nga sa pagbili ng tingi-tingi. Dahil sa sobrang matagal na pong gawain yon, mas gagawin po ngayon dahil sa sobrang taas ng presyo. So hanggang dun lang ho kasi yung kaya ng ilan sa ating mga kababayan. What do you think would be the alternative?
I think, Ma'am Pinky, it's about practice and mindsetting of the Filipino people. This has been done by other countries. They have been used to bringing their own eco bags, or sa atin, we can even use the basyo or yung mga sa probinsya, sa amin po sa probinsya namin. Nauso pa rin po yung mga abaka bags na pwedeng gamitin po. So marami pong alternative. It's just that right now, we do not have the drive to do this because there is an available option of these plastic bags. And if we compute it, mas napapamahal pa po tayo kasi ito po ay hindi nare-recycle. Pero kung iisipin natin at gamitin natin, ipunin natin yung ginagastos natin na kapital para sa plastic bags at ginamit natin to sa recyclable products like itong mga sinasabi nga nating eco bags or yung mga basyo, mas makakatipid pa po pala tayo in the long run.
Okay. So, balikan po natin yung bill. So, it's imposing, tama ho, 100 pesos for every 1 kilogram of single-use plastic. How does this work, sir? Sino ho magbabayad?
Well, it's the manufacturers po of these plastics po. So, sa kanila po mapupunta yung responsibility of paying the taxes po.
So, yung manufacturer po magbabayad nito. Kumbaga, pag magbenta sila, may 12% VAT. Tama ho?
Yes po, pero I think it will be very advantageous. I'm sorry to say this, no, pero I think it's one way of helping how to eliminate this single-use plastic bags po. So the responsibility will go to the manufacturers. It's up to them if they will pass it to the consumers. But again, our target here is to eliminate
Yeah.
this product po.
I completely understand that, sir. And sabi nga nila, dapat matagal na itong ginagawang. Kamakailan lang po tayo nasasanay din gumamit ng mga eco bag eh. Pero iba din ho
ma'am.
kasi yung sitwasyon dito sa ating bansa kumpara sa iba. Kaya nga binalik-balikan ko po yung pagbili ng tingi-tingi. Kapag bumili ho kasi ng tingi-tingi, hindi ko po alam what is the alternative na pwede po nilang gamitin para dito. Okay, so with regards to that, ang itatax po yung manufacturer. Okay, sila po ang magbabayad itong 12%. Again, balik tayo dun sa tanong dun sa digital taxing, digital transactions, ano? Wala hong protection dito ang consumers if the manufacturer so decides to increase prices because of the 12% VAT imposed on them. Tama po.
Yes, Ma'am Pinky, but if we notice po, ito pong plastic bags is we really use this pag namimili po tayo sa palengke, sa mga sari-sari stores, and even another stores, no? But unlike dito po sa ating, let's use the most famous one, the Netflix or the YouTube products, these are the luxuries that we have. So I think ito po talaga I think it can be manageable naman po if the tax can be imposed to the consumers po.
Okay. Sir, one last question. Magkano ho ba ang inyong inaasahang ma-generate na tax dito po sa pag-impose ng VAT sa single-use plastic?
Yeah, so for this year they generated 5.5 million metric tons. So if we multiply it by 100, I'm sorry I can't do the math right
5.5
now, but
million metric tons. So
Yeah.
that's about
Yeah.
times what, sir? 100? So 500. Tama ho ba yun?
yeah. Opo.
Okay.
Yes, tama. Baka mamali ako, Ma'am Pinky.
Baka may staff kayo dyan.
Opo.
Baka pwede ninyong
Yeah.
pa-compute. But yes. And okay, so yung counterpart ho, of course we'll have to wait for the counterpart of this
Yeah.
bill in the
And
Senate.
Ma'am, we are looking at nung ginawa namin po itong studying to, we had a projection na by 2040, they will be producing 11 million metric tons. So that's
11
a
million.
very scary situation for us. So this really is a very timely bill na sana mapasa po.
So mangyayari po niyan, 11 trillion? Tama ho ba
Million.
Oh, 11 million. Okay. Ang mako-collect na
Ito po yung projected na consumption ng ating
single
bansa
use.
sa mga bandang 2030, 2040. Baka ito na po yung kinoconsume natin per year. So it is really very scary how we will dispose these such products po.
Yeah, that's true. So, with regards to the tax generated, ang sabi niyo po 500, we didn't get 500 million po yung metric tons.
Mga 550 po siguro, mga ganun po.
550
More or
million metric
less.
tons times 100 po yun kasi hindi po kasi by kilogram pa po yun. Okay,
Kasi
that's
by kilogram.
yeah.
So more pa po, 5.5
Mahirap.
billion.
Apo. Okay, so let's see if this hurdles the Senate as well. And of course, magkakaroon pa po ng BICAM dito. House Deputy Majority Leader and Ako Probinsyano, Party List Representative Alfred Delos Santos. Sir, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Pinky. It's really a big honor po.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.